Hey guys, so I know you guys are hearing like two videos in 1 week. Go me. I just want to start out by saying that this video is in no way trying to scare you guys off. I think these are two very important topics that people don't talk about as a babysitter, nanny, childcare provider, and I actually had a situation with somebody else that's kind of going down that could turn into some legal issues, and I just wanted to talk about it because I think it needs to be addressed. So let's talk about the first part of this video, which is legal situations as a childcare provider. It's important to remember that when I say provider, that means babysitters, nannies, daycare providers, anybody in that realm who takes care of children. So, again, it's important to remember as somebody who takes care of other people's children that you are always in a spot of being put in legal situations. For example, if you, let's say somebody you like did have you as their daycare provider, they go off spreading rumors about you, saying you abused the kids, you neglected them, all that kind of stuff. That can turn into a whole legal situation. Um, and it can be avoided, which I'll go into later. But yes, as somebody who takes care of people's kids, it's very easy to get into situations because parents can just make things up about you. If you're a babysitter, nanny, or daycare provider, people can always make stories up about you. They can edit photos to make you look like you were doing something bad and all of this kind of stuff. So, how do you protect yourself as a child care provider with that? The number one thing I would suggest is written contracts and having everything in the contract. If you are a daycare provider and you go off to on a vacation and somebody else is with the kids, it should be said that who is with the kids. It should claim that they've been background checked and fingerprinted. Um, and that's really about all. It just needs to state that there is somebody in play for if you're not going to be there, and then they need to be background and fingerprinted. Another huge thing, speaking of fingerprinting, is fingerprinting people and background checks. And actually, that's two in one thing. But background checking and fingerprinting people is nothing to be ashamed of. I think everyone should go through it personally, just because it's really hard to trust anybody with your kids, especially right now where I'm at. There are so many bad stories I hear. So, anyways, that would be my suggestion. Especially as a nanny, you definitely need to have a contract because nannies are long hours. Um, you definitely don't want to be in a situation where you don't get paid. So, make sure you have a written contract. Daycare people and even nannies, um, because all of that stuff will be on file at social services, you definitely need to make sure that you record conversations and you tell that person that this conversation is going to be recorded. Because in our, what I'm really trying to get at, in our profession, I guess, he said, she said is a very easy thing to do. Like I was just giving that scenario of somebody who doesn't like you can go off and go talk shit about you, and it can 100% not be true, but you need to back up your ass. And I apologize for the language, I'm just saying it, but you need to really cover your ass as much as possible, and those are the tips I'm giving. So make sure you record the conversations, you tell the person you're recording it, because if they go off and say something else and you're like, nope, I have the recording, here it is. If for some reason somebody can't meet you face to face, you should always screenshot those messages. I'm trying to think what else I put in that post. I had to make it public. It was a really sticky situation, you guys. Um, yeah, you should fingerprint people. You should do whatever it takes to cover your ass. And it really goes into screenshotting conversations, recording conversations. Um, making sure everyone is fingerprinted and stuff like that. That being said, if you are a daycare provider and there are other people, specifically in-home daycare provider, and there's other people in your home, they should all be fingerprinted, background checked as well. um, Again, that can be a whole nother legal situation that you don't want to get into. And I don't want to make this just about babysitters and nannies and daycare providers, but parents. You're also in a place of potentially being in a legal situation. One thing that is really common as a child care provider is parents not paying. If you have somebody for a day and let's say you owe them like $100, I'm just making this up, I don't really know, and you don't pay that, good luck, because that person can send you to small court and sue you. So it goes two ways. Um, yeah. Day babysitters, especially, I see this all the time, and even nannies, I guess, too. And I don't think some daycares do, and it does make me a little bit concerned. But if you go and take a picture of somebody's kid and you post that without the parents' consent, good luck, because you're getting yourself in a legal situation right there. And that is leading into digital footprinting. What people don't understand, and I see it all the time on my Facebook, Snapchat. I don't really see it on Instagram that much, but I see people post pictures of these kids, and I'm like, do you know where that picture can potentially go? Anybody can get a hold of that picture and post it wherever they want. If you post a picture of a child on Facebook, care.com can use it as an advertisement. A picture can say so much about somebody. You can literally, because of technology today, you guys, you can literally take a picture and that person can immediately find out where that child lives, where they go to school, and all the private information that nobody should ever have hold of except somebody, with authority, basically. And I don't want to sit here and preach to you guys of what you can and cannot post, because fuck, I like was that person and I still sort of am. I'm always getting in trouble for stuff I post on my Facebook. And so I'm just saying, if it's anything about like your kids, like you can totally post like good days about them, like, don't use their names or anything, but you're like, hey, I was watching this kid today and they did really good, like using manners, it warmed my heart or something. um you just don't ever want to post something specifically about one child. And if you are a child care provider, please do not post anything without parent consent. Anything really you post should be with parent consent. And I know people are going to be like, but you do this too. But I have a Facebook page, but before I post anything, I always ask the parents if it's okay, because if you guys know, a Facebook page is public to anybody. You don't have to be friends with that person. You don't even have to know that person. Like, it's public to the public. And so it's always with parent consent. I always put it in the post, this is with parent consent. Um, and then I suggest, maybe even if it's your personal Facebook and you're friends with the parent on Facebook, then maybe tag them as well so they know what's going on as well. So that one's definitely like my number one pet peeve, because I see it a lot. Anything you post about a family, um, a child specifically, or anything like that, like, good luck, because that can open up another door to a legal situation. Because let me remind you guys that any platform, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter, anything like that, that platform owns your profile, basically. So Facebook, just because I'm familiar with Facebook, I use it a lot. With Facebook, all of my pictures and stuff, Facebook can use at any point. It's all public. And Facebook, when you do your about section and you tell people like where you live and what your relationship status is and yada yada yada, that's all public. And even people who aren't friends with you can see that. If you get yourself in a legal situation, they are going to check your social media. Again, I don't say this to scare people or whatever, because honestly, I'm that person. I get in trouble like every other day for stuff that I post on social media. I'm just giving you guys the facts, and I don't ever want to see you guys get into legal situations because of stuff that you post, or because somebody's doing he said, she said. Um, so yes, it's important too when it comes to social media and young people that you do not curse. Cursing once in a while is okay, but if you're cursing in every single post or every other post or whatever, or just not in the right context, that's gonna look bad. So yeah, really watch what you guys are posting. Please, please, please do not post anything without parent consent. That this goes for babysitters, daycares, nannies. Um, Please, everything needs to go through parents, and you need to be open. No matter who you are in this industry, babysitter, nanny, daycare provider, you need to have an open conversation about certain things with parents, and just have that open relationship is really what I'm trying to get at. So please, you guys, please be careful with the whole legal situation stuff. Please know that you're at fault for things. Everything's public, so they can use posts and stuff like against you. Text messages too, like we all know, like the police can easily get that stuff. And for the young people, you think that Snapchat doesn't save your snaps, but it does. It does, and it saves your conversations. I know once you like send it and all that kind of stuff, it's nowhere to be seen on your Snapchat. But you know who has control of that? The police and the FBI. So I'm just saying, guys, be careful. Take the extra measures. If you're getting in a really hairy situation as a nanny or daycare provider, make sure you're really doing everything in your power to cover your ass. Um, because it's not fun when you get into that legal situation. And to go along with that, make sure you read up on um, like rules and regulations for daycare providers. I don't know why everyone always comes to me for that kind of stuff, because I'm like, I don't really know, but it's public and it just takes one Google search and it'll pull it up. Yesterday I found the entire document from North Dakota and their rules and regulations with licensing to daycare. So make sure you do your research, parents and providers, and just make sure you're out there being safe. Again, I don't want to scare you guys from this and like never babysit or like watch people's kids. I'm just saying there's some really, serious situations that can come about, but there are also ways to protect yourself from those serious situations. And another side note, if you guys post something, the parent sees it maybe, and they start talking about you, they go to somebody, they talk about you, they try to pull up your Facebook and, or whatever, and they didn't screenshot it, please remember that people can screenshot anything these days. And you delete it, the police and people with higher authorities can definitely get a hold of all of that stuff. So be safe, you guys, is really just the message for today. And educate yourselves. Educate, educate, educate. It does not take a long time just to do a Google search on something as simple as looking up the rules and regulations for a daycare licensing place or whatever. So, with that said, you guys, I hope you guys have a great, great week. I hope that if you guys do anything as a babysitter or nanny, definitely make contracts. I'm actually going into the nanny business this fall, and um, possibly this summer too, but I don't know. I'm gonna make a contract with this person as well. So make sure you guys do that. Um, yes, and I hope you guys have a great, great rest of your week, and I will see you guys later.